Welcome. This is another video in the series being done by the Academy of Adoption and Assisted Reproduction Attorneys. We are introducing you to the state of Ohio today, not only to our fellows, but also to a little bit about the law in the state of Ohio. So let's move on to the introductions. Rachel, tell us about you.
Thanks so much, Kim, and thank you to the Academy for giving us this opportunity, and hello from Ohio. So my name is Rachel Offspring, and I am a partner at Essig & Evans, where I practice fertility law. I practice fertility law exclusively, so that means I do collaborative reproduction all day, every day. My clients are intended parents and gestational carriers when I do surrogacy arrangements, and then also donors and recipients when I do gametes, sperm and egg, or embryo donation arrangements. I am licensed to practice law in Ohio and also in Illinois, and outside of my legal practice, I serve as the chair of the board of directors for the Jewish Fertility Foundation.
Oh, interesting. See, I love these intros to find out that kind of information. Patrick, tell us about yourself.
Well, that's a tough act to follow, but my name is Patrick Hamilton. I've been an attorney since 1979, licensed in the state of Ohio. I've been a member of the Academy since 2002 and art fellow since its inception, I think, except for I was a second year. I became part of the group. I echo Rachel's comments about thanking the Academy for setting this up and making this happen. One of the things that I think we all have as an advantage is each other. This group of people, I know that I could call any one of them and they would help me resolve any issue that I might have in Ohio. And because the Academy is national, we all have access to experts in every state. So I consider that one of the qualities that I'm able to bring to my practice.
Wonderful. I agree. All right, Ellen, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Ellen Essig, also a partner at Essig & Evans. I work with Rachel. I've been doing third-party reproduction since 1991. So you can imagine that I've seen a lot of changes over the decades. It is what I do exclusively, and I value my involvement with the Academy. It is a wonderful resource, and the faces you see in front of you here are all people in Ohio who help each other and turn to each other for support in this process. We represent both surrogates and intended parents, donors and recipients, and do that exclusively.
All right, thank you. Good to know. All right, Beverly, your turn.
Hi, I'm Bev Tax, Beverly, but I go by Bev. I have been doing reproductive law for about 15 years now, and I have many times reached out to the people on this screen and other members of the Academy, so I fully appreciate my membership in the Academy. It's as everyone else has said, it's a great resource. I do kind of a broader area of law than most people. I do a lot of family law in general, but the surrogacy and art law is by far my favorite part of my job. Again, as everyone else has said, I represent both carriers and intended parents, donors and recipients in contracts and in birth orders, pre-birth orders, and can't think of a better group of people to work with on a regular basis.
Susan.
Hi, I'm Susan Eisenman, and I have an office in Columbus, Ohio. Pat and I go way back in Ohio surrogacy law. I have practiced in the area for about 40 years. I was one of the people who worked on Ohio's original parentage statute that acknowledged gamete donations. So this has been a long-term interest. Even when I was in law school back in the dark ages, I wrote some articles on the subject. I think that it's been really fun to see this area of law grow and change. And I think it's been very exciting. And I think it's a very dynamic area of law. It keeps changing and it keeps growing. And I congratulate everybody who has found this area of the family building process. And I think that it's very exciting. And I always enjoy going on these journeys with families through their family building process. I have a number of arts kids. One of my daughters is one of the early arts kids. And I also have great nieces and nephews who are arts kids. So it's been a very interesting process.
Excellent. All right, gang. So I'm not licensed though in Ohio, and you are the group I go to anytime I need to know anything about Ohio. But Rachel, tell me generically, is Ohio a go-to state for assisted reproductive technology?
Yeah, we're surrogacy friendly. We are based on case law from the Supreme Court of Ohio, which is the highest court in the state, that says that surrogacy is not prohibited by public policy. So as a result of that, we've developed processes and procedures in order to do surrogacy in the state.
Great. And Beverly, is Ohio one of those states where it varies dramatically depending on what county you're in or what area of the state you're in?
It can be, because we don't have any statutory law that tells the court exactly how to do something. We have 88 counties in Ohio, and sometimes each county, and there are multiple judges in each county. Sometimes it varies from judge to judge, but the good news is there's always a judge that we can find that will be surrogate friendly, and the parties are able to waive the jurisdictional and venue issues and be able to kind of choose where they want to file the case with some limitations. But so it can vary from judge to judge. It's gotten better over the years of surrogacy. In my experience, and surrogacy has become more popular and more common, and the judges know more about it. They've warmed up to it. 15 years ago, when I started, and I can't even imagine when Susan and Ellen and Pat were starting out on this, how difficult it was to explain to the court what you were even talking about. But now it's become more mainstream, and so it's gotten a lot easier in my experience.
I don't know how you fit that many counties in a state, but my goodness, that's East Coast versus West Coast stuff, right? But all right. So Ellen, tell me, I think we've heard a little bit about this, but is Ohio an LGBT friendly state?
Well, yes, and you may remember that the marriage equality case did emanate from the state of Ohio. I was proud to be co-counsel in that case. It did address LGBTQ plus issues in the state for married partners. By extension, we find no difficulties, no impediments for unmarried partners who are proceeding with a donation or a surrogacy. So we find it to be very friendly now. It wasn't always.
So Susan, I know you do enough of this work to know what those generic questions people are looking for when they look at different states. And, you know, the pre-birth versus a post-birth, kind of that parentage process is one of the things they're always trying to understand. Can you generically tell me what that looks like in Ohio?
We have 88 counties in Ohio, and we have 89 sovereign probate court judges. And so things vary a great deal from county to county. That we do have some counties that do pre-birth orders. We have in Franklin County, where I'm located, they do basically an at-birth order, which means that the first birth certificate that's issued has the name of the intended parents on it. But the child has to be in existence before we can get the court order from the court. But for the most part, you know, Ohio judges have moved forward with this. And I think that they also find it to be a very interesting part of the practice, and for the most part, are very receptive to working with families.
All right, well, what I heard was they need to call the attorneys that are on this video in order to get that information. That's what I heard.
Well, it's kind of like being a tailor. In some states, you may be able to sell surrogacy agreements off a rack because they're all interchangeable and everyone is a 42 short or a 41 or a 40 long or whatever. And then in other states, you really need a tailor to help you fit your jacket to you personally. And Ohio is one of those states that it is important that you're working with somebody and you're aware of which court you're attempting to go to.
I love that analogy. That needs to be used more often.
Mhm.
All right, Patrick, you already cued in on this, but the importance of using a fellow from the academy or talking to one of these professionals on this video for this area of law.
Well, I can't tell you how many times over the years I've heard people say, well, I have a cousin or a relative who is an attorney and she would really like to get into surrogacy work and I'm going to let her do the drafting. And I can't emphasize enough how terrible an idea that is. I can almost guarantee you that one of the people on this video will have to fix that situation after they have become involved. So if I see any of the names from this group on any case, I know it's going to be well handled, and I'm very confident that we have the opportunity to work together to make these things much easier to deal with in the future.
Excellent. All right. Thank you for getting us started on Ohio. Obviously, there's a lot more information, and you can contact each of the professionals that are on this video by going to the Academy's website. We have a map where you can click on each state that you're interested in and find out more information, or contact each and receive the contact information for each of these fellows. That website is adoptionart.org, O-R-G, period. And we look forward to talking to you. Please set a consult with one of these professionals. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim.
Yeah.